Hello everyone. So today we're getting near the end of that fabulous sweet corn season. But I know there's a lot to talk about corn silks and corn stalks and how to use them for their medicinal benefits. So I was going to show you how I use them at the Apothecary Spa. So here I have a screen, and then I also have some corn powder with a lemon. So we'll talk about all the different ways that you can utilize this. And then I have some of my compostable freezer bags, because you don't want all that plastic. We need to stop buying plastic, okay? So compostable freezer bags to keep the stalks in. You can do all your freezing with those and not buy plastics. And then here is, if you can get it close up, you can see Responsible Products makes this. And they're made from plant fibers, and then that way you're not adding to all the petrochemicals in the world. So, but with your corn, I always cut off these yucky parts there, right? Because we don't want that. And here in the Indianapolis area, I'm really picky about where I get my corn because unfortunately I just can't grow my own very well. I tried, but they're super tiny. So I get them from what is called Taylor's Farm Market. So John and Eloise Taylor, I absolutely love them. Their little farm market is just precious. It's just awesome. But they use their own seed. So this is non-GMO, and they do not use pesticides. Because when you see most of the corn in grocery stores, you don't know where that came from. You don't even know if it's real. And that is dangerous to eat GMO pesticide-laden corn. We just don't want that. And especially if I'm going to be using it for medicinal purposes at the apothecary, I will not do that. So what I do is I take off these outside fibers here, because we don't want those corn husks like that. Those are kind of, you know, the outside. Okay, so with these go in my compost pile. I don't do anything with those. Now the rest of it, where you get in here and these pieces here that haven't been touched, these have a lot of vitamins and a lot of minerals in them. So this is where I love to use my screens. I don't like to dehydrate plants. I feel like they just lose their vitality. I dehydrate fruits and fruit peels and berries. But when it comes to like leaves and flowers, and I just don't do that. So I like to save all of my inner corn husks also, along with those gorgeous silks. Now, a lot of people like to tincture corn silks. I don't like to tincture it, because when you look at the chemistry of this plant, it's a demulcent. So it has a ton of moisture in it. And that's what demulcent means in herbalism. And so when you're working with a demulcent plant, it's not alcohol soluble, but it's water soluble. And so what I like to do with these is I'll take all my silks and I like to dry them on my screen and let them just air dry, along with my husks over here. Gosh, look how pretty they are. They are just the epitome of silk. Their name could not be more perfect. So then we have our corn, right? So I'm gonna let my corn silks air dry. I let my corn husks air dry, and then I just keep them in a jar at the apothecary. So the specific medicine that I use these for are two different things. So kidney and bladder health. So these go into all of my kidney and bladder support tea blends. I always do a water extract for that. That way you have those demulcent properties to this plant, to where you have those plant sterols, those sugars, those polysaccharides, and you have those that moisture where all that chemistry is that's water soluble. So that way when you drink it, it's nourishing those tissues. So I know a lot of people like to make a tincture form, but for me, I don't like it so much for that. So I like it to be a tea form. The other thing that I love to do with this is to, once I have either eaten your corn, or I will dehydrate it, right? And then you can make a corn powder from it. So I like to blend corn silk, corn powder and corn husk, and I will powderize it and then mix it with lemon juice at the Apothecary Spa because it is one of the most amazing skin brighteners. You have all that lutein and that vitamin C and those polysaccharides, those demulcent actions. When you blend that together and you make a beautiful paste, it's not only exfoliating, but it just makes your skin glow. So it's one of my treatments that I use at the Apothecary Spa in my treatment room. So look at that. Like, isn't that beautiful? There's so much more that you can do with your corn silks, your corn husks, and the corn itself. Or topical. Seriously, blend it with lemon juice and you will love it, and then let me know how it goes when you do it. You're gonna massage it in and leave it on like a mask, and then rinse it off about 30 minutes later and your skin is glowing. I try to do it as often as I can myself. So what I like to do after I'm done with the corn part, so if I shuck this and then I'm using this for topical blends, or I just like to shuck it so that way I have corn through the winter months, then you can make fun vegetable soups and have that. Then keep your stalks, right? So I love or the cob. Keep your cob, don't throw them out, don't compost them. You can keep those and store them and freeze them, and then that way you can add those nutrients, those vitamins and those minerals into a vegetable soup broth. And if you make a corn chowder, and they pair well with seafood based soups also. So it's just a quick little thing that I wanted to go over, so to give you guys some more idea of what to do with your non-GMO, non-sprayed with pesticides corn. So I would love to know what all you guys like to do with yours, and if anybody has a really good like corn relish recipe, I would love to know. All right, thanks guys.